The Senate will come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Bridges. Buckner.
Excused.
Coleman. Cook. Coram. Danielson.
Good morning.
Donovan. Finberg. Fields.
Excused. Please mark Senator Fields as present.
Gardner. Janal. Gonzalez. Hanson. Heisey. Holbert. Hawkes Lewis. Kirkmeyer. Colker. Lee. Liston. Lundeen. Moreno. Pedersen. Priola. Rankin. Rodriguez. Scott.
Here.
Simpson. Smallwood. Sonnenberg. Story. Winter. Woodward.
Here.
Zenzinger. Mr. President.
Here. With 34 present, 0 absent, 1 excused, we have a quorum. Would the good senator from Denver please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, members. Please join me in saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the journal. Senator Hawkes Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am hoping to offer a bipartisan reading of the journal this morning. I'm a lowly first year doing my duty. Reading the journal makes everyone so moody, but I'll do it tongue-in-cheek every day of this week
In the hope of the president rewards me with more booty.
I move the reading of the Journal of Wednesday, March 17, 2021 be dispensed with and the journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
The good senator from Longmont and the good senator from Colorado Springs, for being associated with the good senator from Longmont, will both be fined accordingly. You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Senate Services.
March 18th, correctly enrolls SJR 005, correctly re-enrolls Senate Bills 12, 56, 84, and 141.
Committee reports.
March 17th, Committee on Judiciary. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 81 be amended as follows, and so amended be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. Recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. March 17th, Committee on Judiciary. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 59 be amended as follows, so amended be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. Recommendation be placed on consent calendar. March 17th, Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 77 be amended as follows, so amended be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. March 17th, Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bills 127 be postponed indefinitely. March 17th. Mr. President, the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology has had in consideration, has had a hearing on the following appointments, recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the Board of Mortgage Loan Originators for terms expiring August 10, 2024. Cynthia Emmerich of Evergreen, Colorado, a licensed mortgage loan originator, reappointed. Dina Marie Falbo of Westminster, Colorado, to serve as a member of the public at large, reappointed. Jennifer Henry of Erie, Colorado, a licensed mortgage loan originator, appointed. March 17th. Mr. President, the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology has had in consideration and has had a hearing of the following appointments. Recommends that appointments be placed on consent calendar and confirmed member of the Colorado Banking Board effective July 1st, 2020 for a term expiring July 1st, 2024. Jonathan Randall Fox of Fowler, Colorado, to serve as representative of Bankers, reappointed. March 17th, Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 175 be amended as follows, and so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. March 17th, Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 98 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. March 17th, Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 99 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. The recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. March 17th, Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 118 be referred as follows, so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. March 17th, Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 89 be postponed indefinitely. March 17th, Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 94 be amended as follows, so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. March 17th, Committee on Education. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 119 be amended as follows, so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. March 17th, Committee on Education. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 179 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. March 17th, Committee on Education. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 157 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. Recommendation to be placed on the consent calendar. March 17th, Committee on Education. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 140 be postponed indefinitely. March 17th, Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 87 be amended as follows, so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation.
Message from the House.
Mr. President, the House has passed on third reading and transmitted to the revised statutes House Bills 1052, 1131, 1114, 1047, 1060, 1090, and 1072 amended as printed in House Journal March 16, 2021. The House has adopted and returns herewith SJR 21005.
Message from the Reviser.
March 17th, we herewith transmit without comment as amended House Bills 1047, 1052, 1060, 1072, 1090, 1114, 1131.
Introduction of bills.
Senate Bill 184 by Senator Story and Danielson concerning ski area safety and in connection therewith requiring the operators of ski areas to adopt and disclose safety plans, disclose seasonal ski accident statistics, and maintain an accidental database.
Agriculture and Natural Resources.
Senate Bill 1164 by Representatives Escar and Garnett and Senators Zenzinger and Fenberg concerning reductions in the property tax credits that apply to school districts' total program mill levies for purposes of funding the Public School Finance Act of 1994.
Education. Change in sponsorship. The following change in bill sponsorship will occur. Senator Story will be added as a Senate co-prime with Senator Heisey on Senate Bill 155. Announcements. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Senate Education Committee will meet this afternoon at 1:30. We will be hearing three bills: Senate Bill 172, Senate Bill 13, and House Bill 1164, as well as a number of appointments. Be there or be square.
Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. State Senate Veteran and Military Affairs Committee will be meeting upon adjournment in Old Supreme Court to hear five bills. We'll be hearing Senate Bill 129, 144, 130, 177, and also House Bill 1025.
Senator Quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, you know, we do lots of legislation in this building, and we always assume that we're doing the right thing. But sometimes we forget about what we've done, and things go awry. This morning, as I'm leaving my apartment on 1560 Sherman, which is right across the street, an elderly lady who lives there was waiting outside to go to work. She's probably in her late 70s, maybe early 80s, but still works. She does income taxes. I said, "What are you doing, Susie?" She said, "I'm waiting for a cab." And she said, "I need to get to work." She said, "I called Lyft this morning to get my ride for that 8 blocks, and they want $55 to haul me over there." That's 4 hours of what I make. I'm waiting for the cab. It's $4. Do we do things and just forget about it? And we let companies like this, and there's others out there. I had a friend last year that was staying down at the Brown Palace, was coming up here during the snowstorm. A $50 ride for one of the other ride services. What do we do? What do we do? Do we need legislation that says you cannot gouge during times? Do we depend on the PUC? What do we do? Or would you just forget about it and say, what the hell, it happens? Thank you.
Further announcements. Will the clerk please add Senator Buckner to the roll call? Senator Buckner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't know how I could follow my esteemed friend after his statement, but tomorrow I have a doctor's appointment it was a doctor's appointment that I asked to attend last week, but because of the blizzard, my doctor couldn't make it to her office, so I have to be excused tomorrow after 10 o'clock. Thank you.
The good senator from Aurora will be excused as requested. Senator Hansen.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. A quick announcement about Senate Appropriations Committee. We are expecting some bills to be referred to us, a bill to be referred to us. So please plan on 8:30 tomorrow morning to gavel in over in LSB. Senate Appropriations tomorrow at 8:30.
Senator Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I don't normally announce joint budget committee meetings because, you know, we kind of do our own thing. But tomorrow, I very much encourage our colleagues to participate. Not only will we be receiving the March forecast, which will determine the resources to allocate for the next budget year, but also we are getting a preliminary update from both the Office of Legislative Legal Services and Joint Budget Committee staff on the American Rescue Act. So that is a substantial amount of federal dollars that are going to be coming into the state that will have huge budgetary impacts for our state as well. So if you do have time, if you don't have any other commitments, we do encourage you to join us tomorrow. We will be discussing the federal relief package upon adjournment of the Senate and the House, and then the economic forecast will take place at 1:30 p.m. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Phillips.
Good morning, Mr. President and colleagues. I'd like to take a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I've been out of town for the last couple of days, and yesterday I'm quite sure we all saw the news report about what happened in Atlanta. And what happened in Atlanta was that 8 people were shot down and murdered. I don't know the circumstances. They're saying it might be a hate crime. They're saying it may not be. They just said that he had a problem. He had a bad day. That's what the police chief said. We all have bad days. But when I have a bad day, and like many of you might have a bad day, we find a way to shake it off and pull ourselves up and go on about our business. We don't commit murder because of a bad day. That's just not acceptable. but I don't know all the circumstances. But, Mr. President, I would like to request a moment of silence for the 8 people that lost their lives. I'm quite sure they weren't having a bad day when this happened to them. They were just at work. Just think about 9/11. People were at the copy machine. People were like at work. And someone came along and took their lives away. Not acceptable. I don't care what the reason is. It's just not the order of things. We have to really celebrate the dignity and the humanity of life. And so I'm so glad to be able to serve the great state of Colorado. But if this happened in Colorado, I'd be saying the same thing as if I served in the great state of Georgia. So members, please join me in just acknowledging the tragedy that just happened in Georgia. These Asian Americans who we're seeing an increase of hate. Don't know why. I have speculations, but I really don't know why. Why them? It shouldn't be so. Mr. President, requesting a moment of silence during this time.
The Senate will observe a moment of silence, and the Senate chimes will ring.
Thank you.
Further announcements. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, we will be recessing to allow for some committee reports to be read across this afternoon. You do not need to be here. Mr. President, I move that the Senate recess until 12 noon today.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The Senate will stand in recess until 1200 today.